Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishop, and elders, the great millstone that rule well. And peace and blessings be multiplied on all you brethren, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom, shalom to the hopeful elect out there. It's the brother Dama Agabar, here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I came across this article, all right, titled, No Cash Accepted, Signs Are Bad News for Millions of Americans. And that's funny because I did a video yesterday dealing with this topic, and I came across this article dealing with the same, same topic, was showing you this is where, these elites are ultimately going to bring the society. All right. They need this cashless society to fulfill their new world order and to digitally enslave all of humankind via the MOTB, which is the mark of the beast, which is written in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter. All right. And this is what we believe, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, starting with the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, that the MOTB is the implantable RFID chip where your CBDCs, your digital money, will be issued and stored. And through that device is how you'll be able to buy and sell as the scriptures prophesy. And you see, and this is why you're seeing it's becoming more and more of the normalcy to see, a cashless society and businesses no longer accepting cash, because they're ultimately just gradually pushing everybody towards this ultimate goal. And, different businesses, they can have their excuses of why they don't want to deal with cash. Oh, we don't want to be robbed. Oh, they'll try to tell you that, the money is dirty. It has a lot of germs. Or even at one point, they were saying that a lot of the cash had the 1-9er, virus on it. But ultimately, they don't want to accept cash because it's less convenience. They don't have to, they was telling you like a year or two ago that there's a coin shortage. That's why a lot of times now, if you notice when you go to certain stores or you go to places, they'll ask you if you want to round off your, just round it off. Like when you go to the certain stores, let's say if you purchase something and it was $24.30, they'll ask you, do you want to just round it off and give off the rest of the 60 cents to some type of charity so that they don't have to worry about giving you change or, giving you coins and shit like that, because there's a so-called coin shortage. But it's all signs just pointing that, they're getting ready to do with this cash, and they're ultimately, gradually, making everybody start to, do your payments digitally. But you have a lot of people who are unbanked, a lot of people who don't deal with debit cards, who don't have bank accounts, that still are directly dealing with cash. But, that's eventually going to be phased out, especially when they bring this economic collapse. And it just shows you that all signs are going towards a cashless society. And it's going to lead to the MOTB, CBDC, central bank digital currencies. Look into what those are and what they entail so you can better gauge, how this system is going to, be in the future. All right. And it says, how many people don't have a bank account, and just how difficult has it become to live without one? These questions are becoming increasingly important as more businesses refuse to take cash in cities across the U.S. People without bank accounts are shut out from stores and restaurants that refuse to accept cash. And that's true, but this is, it's very far in between. You have more businesses that do take cash than those that don't, but you do have some businesses that will not take your cash. And it is true. You are shut out of those businesses if you don't have digital, if you don't have bank accounts, or if you're not dealing with cash, but this is going to be eventually on a global scale. This is eventually going to be in all cities across the U.S. when these devils bring in this new world order and they collapse this financial system as we know it and bring in this digital beast system, right? Where you'll have to have digital, digital wallet, digital ID, everything about you, everyday transaction will be done on a digital basis. You see? And that's a huge part of the World Bank and these devils, is to bank the unbanked, because, you have a lot of people, whose financial transactions are going under the radar. You have a lot of people who are operating strictly off of cash transactions. They're paying their bills. They're, living day to day without their financial history or their buying history being tracked, but it's not being tracked and traced by these elites, so, by these governments, so they don't know, your buying patterns. Now, the majority of us who do have bank accounts, hey, these devils know how and where you're spending your money. They know what particular brands of food you like, what type of places you like to shop at, and they have like a whole history of, about you, and they learn a lot about you via your shopping history. But you have millions of people, millions of Americans who fly under the radar, who don't necessarily have bank accounts, or who's not, who's getting paid under the table, and who are operating in ways to where their financial, track record can't be traced. And these devils are going to look to totally do away with that when they end this financial system as we know it, and implement this beast system. Then everything that you do will be tracked and traced and monitored, and you'll be, you know, digitally on their, be able to be monitored at all times, man. Where they could stop and, they can permit, or they can stop you from making transactions. They'll stop you from buying and selling. They can stop you from doing pretty much every goddamn thing. Everything that you do will be seen and known in real time by the powers that be. There won't be a moment to where you're slipping under the radar, or they're not going to be able to have complete total control over you. And this is why they're, pushing this agenda. It says, as it happens, a lot of people are still unbanked. Roughly 6 million in the U.S., the latest data shows, which is about the population of Wisconsin. And outside of the U.S., more than 1 billion people don't have bank accounts, you see. So in order for them to bring in this new world order and to have complete total control over every aspect of every living person on this planet Earth, you all have to be joint unto this digital slave system. And one of the ways they're going to coerce a lot of people into getting and joining up into this new financial system is when they collapse this financial system. They do away with the dollar and make all current currency illegal and unusable. And they'll tell you the only way that you can buy or sell or function in this society and live a normal, so-called normal life is you're going to have to bow down to the beast system. You're going to have to be banked. You're going to have all of your digital identification and requirements in order for you to, be part of this society. Otherwise, they could totally cut you off from being part of the society because, you don't have the proper, prerequisites to be involved in society. You see, and you're going to have to, get that MOTB. It says, let me see something. It says, I am a business school professor who researches society's transition from cash to electronic payments. I recently visited Seattle and was amazed by the mixed signals I saw in many storefronts. Numerous shops had one sign proudly proclaiming how welcoming and inclusive they were, next to another sign saying no cash accepted. This tells people without bank accounts that they aren't welcome. And this is what it's going to be in the near future. If you don't have your MOTB, your Karagma, you're not going to be welcome in this society. We always make the reference to the movie Demolition Man. It's going to be just like that. If you didn't, include yourself into that San Angeles society, you were outcasted. You lived underground. You weren't able to function or even exist in their new world that they had created. You see, and they all had MOTBs in them, man, microchips. You see. All right, and I want to jump down to this main point. I want to make this a long article. See, it says what? This is what they want: a more inclusive economy. They want an all-inclusive slave system via all of these digital, a digital slave system. You see, it says many of us swipe our credit cards, tap our phones, or insert a debit card to pay without thinking. You see, because that's gradualism. That's normalizing you. First and foremost, having your money in a digital form on your debit card, credit cards, and not having physical cash about. But it's ultimately gearing you towards swiping your hand, swiping your right hand or your left hand or your forehead to do all of your transactions and your biddings in the near future. It says, however, there are at least 6 million people in the U.S. and almost 1.5 billion worldwide who are unbanked. When businesses stop accepting cash, the unbanked are forced to use payment methods like prepaid. See, in the future, you're not going to have these prepaid debit cards. You're not going to have any way to function outside of that MOTB, outside of the digital beast system when they implement it. It's not going to be no loophole. It's not going to be, prepaid debit cards or you bartering or trading or doing things like that. That's going to be outside of their control. You're going to be totally inclusive and, inserted into his digital beast system where he will have total and complete control. And this is why cashless society is needed for these devils to go forward with their enterprise. It says, however, these prepaid cards are costly. For example, Walmart, one of the largest U.S. retailers, offers a reloadable base. And look, and when all this shit, when they crash this economy and they really start rolling out this MOTB, all of these stores like Walmart, Walgreens or whatever store that's going to exist when they bring in this new world order, man, they're all going to be down with the beast system. They're not going to be offering you these prepaid credit cards in the near future. These things won't exist. They won't be able, they won't have no use for them anymore because it's going to be one way and one way only. You're going to have to bow down and take, worship the image and take his mark and to digitally accept, his new world, man. It says the card costs $1 to buy and charges $6 per month in fees. In addition, because you're not going to have this, because you're not going to have, this is what you call financial freedom. This is the ability to move about and still move without all of your finances being tracked and traced or them having complete control over you. This is not going to exist in the world that they're about to create, man. All right. They're going to have complete and total control over every single aspect of your life, man, as the prophecy tells us. You see? It says the next time you see a sign in a shop or restaurant window stating no cash accepted, you're really looking at a business excluding many unbanked and underbanked people. You see, in the new world order, if you're not down, if you don't have, the prerequisites, you're going to be totally excluded from society. There's not going to be no ifs, ands, or buts or no circumventing it. All right. Either you're going to bow down and worship the beast in his image or you're going to be killed, as it tells you in the word. A matter of fact, let me get that. I'm done with this article. All right. Let me see something. Let me show you. When it tells you that, right here, when it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And when you go to this word killed, all right, it tells you what they're going to be able to do. You see? And you see this happening on a gradual scale. These companies that don't accept cash, you're basically being killed, not physically, but in this sense, in the root word for that. Let me go back. I'm moving a little bit too fast. The Greek word for killed is apoktekeno. It says, but when you go to the root, the word apo, it says of separation, of local separation. It says any kind of separation of one thing from another by which the union or fellowship of the two is destroyed, which is going to be what? If, like in this instance, if you don't have cash in these particular stores, you're apo, you're killed, you're separated from being able to buy and sell or even function in that store. You really have no business even going in there because if you're trying to pay cash, you can't even function. You can't make no transactions. Your business is not accepted there. So basically you're being separated from these different retailers if you don't if you don't have digital payment plans, a digital way to pay, whether it's having a bank account or having Apple Pay or having one of those prepaid Walmart cards. If you don't have any of those forms of digital, access, you're separated from even buying and selling in that store. But it's going to be like that on a global level in the near future if you don't have the MOTB. You see? And it says what in verse 16? And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. And we know that word mark is the charagma. All right, that implantable, what? In their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. You see? And if you don't have that mark, then guess what? You'll be killed. You'll be separated from society. You'll be separated from moving around and buying and selling and traveling, from getting food, getting an apartment, driving, having a driver's license, having access to, move around and function within the society. You see? And this is where everything is headed. This is why they're pushing for more of a cashless society. Why they want to why they want to do away with the current financial and, having physical cash and wanting to bring in this cashless society, because that's going to be a trap. And the way they're going to, you know, get a lot of people to be deceived into accepting the MOTB, and bowing down to the beast system, thinking that is going to save their lives, is going to be convenient. This is going to be the problems that's going to fix the fallen society and bring law and order back into this world. But really, it's a snare and a trap for your soul. And it's a way for these devils to have complete, total control over you, man. So this is why you have to have it in your mind to, under no circumstances, you know, um, accept this man's mark, or to bow down to this new digital beast system that he's gonna, present as salvation and an answer to all the world's problems. You got to know exactly what you're, being set up for, and what you're gonna be, um, you know, allowing yourself to take part in, man, because it's not going to be anything like you think, man. It's going to be a complete digital slave system that these devils are going to implement, and it's going to start with them doing away with, the financial system as we know it, and to bring in this new digital beast slave system. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. Lord willing, I wasn't all over the place, and that you were fed through this spiritual meal. I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Until the next one, Shalom.